Good morning. Yesterday I went live and I talked about if you have like this huge long to-do list or if you have like all of these ideas in your head, how to reverse engineer like which ones to prioritize so that you can get to your goal, you can get to your vision, you can get to what you want out of life. And I shared about how I do that and how I'm coming off of this like 2 week feeling like so overwhelmed. Obviously, as you can tell, like I did my hair and my makeup today. I feel very rested and I feel like I'm ready to get back to work and dive into all the things. And rest is totally okay. Like I got so many messages of like, it's okay to rest. Like you need to take time. And I know that. Like I love you guys so much. I know you love me. And that's why you're sending those messages. But like I love resting. Like I truly do take that time, but I haven't had time for that in the last 2 weeks, which is probably why I got to a point where I was just like completely exhausted. So I wanted to back up a little bit and talk about like, obviously, if you have this huge long to-do list and you have all of these ideas and you need to like get through some of it, but you don't even know where to start. Like it's almost like you feel paralyzed by how much is on the list. I want to talk about the daily vitals that I do. And this is honestly, this is a training that lives inside of the takeover. And the takeover is my 6-month mastermind, which is currently enrolling, by the way. So if you are like, I need to join a space where I can feel lit up, where I can also learn and where I can also just like explode my potential, then the takeover is for you and you can DM me and we can have a conversation around that. But this training was super important inside of the takeover and it's in like the welcome package. So I kind of want to review what this looks like because these are the daily vitals that I do every single day. And if all else fails, like if I can't get to what I want to get to and I do these things, which shouldn't take you or me super long to get through, then I know for a fact that I can like rest easy. I can rest assured that I'm making progress in my business and I go to bed still like very proud, feeling accomplished. And these are the few things that I do. Now, the daily vitals actually came from when I was a Beachbody coach. They trained us on, I think they called it the vital few. And there was like 3 things that were included in the vital few. And this is like how they coached their coaches to run their business and live their life. And I loved that. I was like, oh my gosh, like I love that so much. And I wanted to recreate that in my world, but add a few different things because I do things differently now than when I was in network marketing, obviously. And one of the things that was in the vital few when I was a Beachbody coach, like the first thing was personal development. And I thought that was so cool. I was like, dude, that's so awesome that this company is prioritizing their employees, like their coaches, being healthy from within. So I want to go through number 1 of the daily vital in my list. And I have my notes here so that I can stay on track. But I also gave myself examples of how I can show you like how I am doing this today, like in real time, so that you can kind of grasp like what the concept looks like in real time. So daily vital number 1 is protect my peace. So that is the number 1 thing that I do. And yes, the protection of peace absolutely makes a difference in how you show up in your business and how you make money. Like all of the way that you live your life is actually a huge giant mirror into your financial success. Truly. It's like they go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other, at least for a sustainable amount of time. So before I create, before I serve, before I show up in my business at all, I am protecting my peace. And the way that I do that is I have a very strong morning routine. And it's gotten to the point, like if I don't stick to this morning, if I don't wake up and if I don't have the opportunity to go through my morning routine, I do feel off. And I don't care that it's like that. Like I'm like, I love that I have this like sacred routine and space for myself where I can just feel healthy. So what I do is I wake up very early, like between 5:30 and 6, I'm up out of bed and I go downstairs, I make a black cup of coffee and I sit on my comfy couch with my blanket. I have my glasses on and I immediately like drink my coffee and read my book. And I always have like, whether it's a personal development or sometimes like I'll work in professional development, but even my professional development books have an underlying like message of personal development. Like I geek out on like refining my energy and tapping into my power and like how I can own my voice more. So I read my book and I drink my coffee. I even have like a little light because when I wake up, it's not the sun hasn't come up yet. So I have like a little light on my book and I read about 10 pages is always my goal. Sometimes I read a little bit more depending on like my time or what I have to get to. And then I eat my breakfast, whether that is like, most of the time it's a smoothie. And I actually just started drinking Shakeology again, which is ironic that I'm doing this training while talking about like the vitals came from Beachbody. I just started drinking Shakeology again. I love Shakeology. Like there's so many nutrients in that. So I will make a smoothie, which has like spinach, it has berries, it has, I've been putting the kefir, I don't know how to pronounce it, but like the probiotic milk in there. And then I just do water in the Shakeology, so there's protein in there as well. Then I go outside for a walk, whether I'm walking my dog or like I'm out there by myself. Like I go outside and I take a walk, and sometimes I'm listening to a podcast, like if there's something that I want to listen to, but sometimes I just go out there, like no phone, no headphones, just like in nature. And there's trees in my neighborhood and stuff. So I like get close to the trees. I take deep breaths and I'm out there for literally 30 minutes at a minimum, just like getting my steps in and setting myself up for the day. And then I come back in and I like get ready for the day, whether that's like, if it's early enough, I'll go to the gym and I'll do a workout, or maybe like I shower and I put myself together. It just depends. But that is my morning routine. And I swear by that, protecting my peace like every single day. So the first thing that you want to decide is like, what can you do with your morning that's going to set you up emotionally to have a good day, like to just feel good. And sometimes that's going to require you to wake up a little bit earlier, depending on like your lifestyle. Do you have to go into an office? Do you have to go to work? Like, what does that look like? You have to decide. But coming up with a morning ritual is going to change your life 100%. So that is daily vital. Number one is protect your peace. And these things are going in order. So daily vital number two is after I'm like ready for the day and I get into my office and I'm ready to go to work, before I check in on clients, before I am like checking emails, before I do anything else, I am thinking about my content and my positioning for the day. And the reason for that is my brain feels clear. Shakeology, yum. Literally, yes. Tastes so good. I'm thinking about like what I want to share for that day. And usually the way that I create content is I'm thinking about like, what am I inviting into for that day? And what stories can I tell that will back into that offer? So that's how I think about my content. I never sit down and feel like blank on what I want to create ever. And the reason for that is because I do it in the morning. Like I prioritize it. My brain is still it's like on fire. So I'm not like waiting until the end of the day to think about that. And I prioritize my content so much because everything comes back to content. Like the growth of your business, the way that like you are converting people into your world, even your paying clients, like they're watching you and how you make moves and what you post and how you show up. So that is, it's like they say, your success depends on your daily routine habits. No doubt. Like, amen. That is exactly why I wanted to give you this training today. Is like, it's so important what you prioritize in your day instead of just like showing up and being like all over the place. Like, where do I begin? So visibility, in my opinion, your content, which is like what you post to your feed, how you show up in your stories, like if you're going live on Instagram, if you're doing a podcast episode, if you have a YouTube channel, like that's all content, even emails. Visibility in that realm is truly the oxygen to your business. So you want to prioritize that first before you do anything else. So the way that I did that today is I decided that I was going to go live and I was going to do this, but also I went immediately into my stories and I started to think about this training. I combined it with, I showed myself walking outside and I like debriefed my entire morning routine. So you'll see how like everything I did today was basically intentional and it all kind of ties together. Instead of me thinking like, okay, what do I post to my feed? I don't know. What do I put in an email? I don't know. What do I go live on? I don't know. Like all of this is cohesive and it's going to make sense throughout this training even more. But I'm showing my brand. I'm showing my brain. I'm talking about like my stories every single day. I am posting something. So that is where I go to next is my content and positioning. The third thing that I do, which kind of like piggybacks off of number two, is I'm selling. I sell, like to me, a synonym for selling is serving. And I truly believe that if I'm not inviting into my world, if I'm not talking about what it is that I have to offer, I'm doing my people a disservice. I truly believe that. I believe so much in my work and so much in what I'm coaching on and teaching on and offering that I don't feel salesy. I don't feel like I'm selling too much. In fact, I'm always feeling like I'm not selling enough. Like that's where I've gotten to that point where it's like people will buy what you sell. So that's another reminder for you is like, are you only showing up and selling your low ticket things because people are going to buy your low ticket things? Or are you normalizing showing up and selling things that are high ticket? Are you normalizing showing up and only talking about freebies so that when you do talk about high ticket, people are like freaking out. It's like, wow, this is so expensive. I think about it in a way of like, I have transitioned my brand. Now, again, I've been doing this for a couple years, but I've transitioned my brand into a lot of high ticket offers. And that's because I give so much to my spaces that the return on investment in my space is so high. So when I'm talking about these high ticket offers, people are joining them. But the moment that I offer something low ticket, which hasn't been for a while, but the moment that I do, that stuff goes crazy. Like people are like, oh my gosh, like this is low ticket. I need in on that. This is crazy. I can't believe it's this cheap, blah, blah, blah. So it depends on what it is that you're inviting into. That's just kind of like the way my brain thinks about high ticket versus low ticket, etc. I have a whole like arsenal of different pricing. So it's like, I don't just do high ticket. I don't just do low ticket. I do all of it and everything in between. But every single day I'm showing up and I'm inviting into something. And that is honestly where I see a lot of my clients are going wrong, the huge gap with my clients. And I have women that are coming in that are just beginning their businesses. And I have women that are coming in that are making $500,000 a year. So the problem is the same though, and they're not selling enough. They're not inviting enough. And the way that I invite is truly, I prioritize my Instagram stories. So I'm always showing up in my stories and like telling a sequence of messages that will back into an offer. And then I put it into an email. So that same story sequence, I'm taking that copy and I'm putting it into an email and I'm sending it out to my email list. So today, what I decided is I want to talk more about my mastermind, which is the takeover. And in the beginning of 2025, I dedicated my entire year to refining the takeover. Like that was my goal. Like I want to have this mastermind that is unlike any other. I've been part of multiple masterminds up to this point, and they're all amazing, but I know where things are missing, and I wanted to create the missing gap, the missing link. So this entire year, I've been refining my 6-month mastermind, which is called the Takeover. So today, I went into my stories, and I told stories about like what's happening right now in the takeover. So again, I go back to like, I don't have to overthink what to say. I simply tap into what is the truth. Like what is happening right now behind the scenes that the public doesn't have access to. And I show up with those stories and I tell the story about what's happening. So if you were to go to my stories right now, if you're watching this live or shortly after I post it, you would see in my stories how I'm talking about the takeover in a way of like, I have launched I launched a challenge within the takeover last month and we did it for the remainder of July. And it was such a good challenge that we actually continued into the month of August. So I'm not just sharing about what we're doing, but I also took snapshots of the women inside the takeover and the way that they responded to this challenge. So that's like huge when you're giving people insight to the public of like what's happening behind the scenes. If you're pulling back the curtain and you're showing like, this is the energy that is happening in this mastermind, that's huge because it allows your audience to like envision themselves in that room with you. Like what it would feel like if they were with you. I definitely think I need this challenge. I feel so out of it. Yeah. So, and inside the takeover, that's what we do. It's like you get access inside of that room to like all of the offers that I create while you're inside. You get them complimentary plus all of the trainings that are in there. But nonetheless, I show up in my stories and I show up in my emails and I'm inviting into my world. Imagine if you like decided today, like that was the one thing you were going to take from this live. If you decided like, I'm just going to invite every single day into something. And that could be as simple as like you did a podcast episode and you want to invite people to come listen. But every single day you're dropping a link in your Instagram stories, you're sending an email, maybe not every day, but every other day, whatever. I also am like, I do not subscribe to like, you're sending too many emails. Like honestly, people can unsubscribe from my list. That's totally fine. I'm going to keep inviting people into my world. So that is the daily vital number 3. So just to recap so far, and we have a few more to go. The first daily vital was protecting your peace. The second daily vital was creating content and positioning, basically like AKA nurturing your audience and building your personal brand. The daily vital number 3 was selling to serve. So you're selling and you're inviting every single day. Daily vital number 4 is I show up for my paying clients and my community. And the way that I do that is I actually block time in my calendar for this because I want to give so much energy to the people who are already in my world. And I will go and I will like check any messages that I haven't read yet. And I will respond to them thoughtfully, intentionally, like making sure that I give enough there instead of just like, I don't want to be bare. And then when I see that I have some spaces, whether that is like, it could be my mastermind, it could be a group program that I'm running, it could be my private clients. If I notice that there is like, if it feels quiet, and also like I do take into consideration, like people are busy. So I'm also a coach. So I will go in there and I will take the responsibility on of creating the spark. And most of the time, what that looks like for me is I send a voice memo so that people can hear my voice, and I'm not adding work to anyone's plate, but I will give them ideas of questions that they can ask me, or I'll ask them like, what is your goal this week? And then I dive into like helping them take it up 10 notches. So that is how I give back to my clients and my community, and I check in on them there. I stir up the magic when the magic maybe isn't present, or I'm going in and I'm just taking care of people. So that's daily vital number 4. Number 5 is I then focus on my exposure. And this is beyond just posting content to my feed and showing up in my stories. Because here's the thing. You can post content to your feed, you can show up in your stories, you can be hella consistent in your profile. But sometimes that's just like not enough. And I'm not afraid to say that. Like I do think that you probably could refine your storytelling. You could refine your specificity in your content, and that could take you further. But there's more that could be done when it comes to exposure. And I can tell you that the moment that I like started putting myself in front of other people's audiences, or I got in the room with like big hitters, is the moment that my business actually grew massively. My content has always been consistent for literally the last, I would say like 7 years. I've been so consistent in creating content. The times that I've noticed where I actually like catapult my success is when I am like going above and beyond for my exposure. And so the ways that you do this is, for example, an Instagram live like this. Like going live on Instagram was never a part of my content strategy until this year. And the moment that I started going live on Instagram, I started connecting with different people. Like people saw me in a different way because there's just something to be said about being live with people. Like I can't, obviously like I have free masterclasses sometimes and stuff like that, but going live on Instagram and being able to like work off of the comments and like seeing some of the questions that come through, like this is exposure in a totally different way. But if I'm not going live on Instagram, there's other ways that you can do this. You can connect with people and do like a podcast swap where it's like, you want to come on my show, I'll come on your show. Like, let's do that together. You could start posting consistently to Threads. You could show up on TikTok. You could maybe create like YouTube shorts or create YouTube videos. You could create a broadcast channel and do like voice memo trainings in a broadcast channel and maybe do like a little challenge there. Like there's so many different ways that you can do this. And it's time that you think about beyond just creating like content, where am I going to expose myself today? The connection piece is the key. So again, you don't want to just fall into the habit of like, I need to go on a different platform and just be consistent in posting on a different place. Like that is not the vibe of exposure. The vibe of exposure is like, where can I enhance my connection to people? Okay, so that's daily vital number 5. Now, the 6th daily vital, which is something that I will admit, like I don't do this every single day. So the 5 daily vitals that I just mentioned are the things that you want to prioritize every single day, and guaranteed, like your business, even like if you did the daily vitals every single day for the next 30 days, your business will not look the same as it does today. So even if you just did that for 30 days, like hit me up and let me know like how different your business looks just by doing those things. The 6th daily vital is quote unquote optional, but it should be something that you at least prioritize a couple times a week. And this would be continued learning. And this is where I believe I truly set myself apart, because I am always learning. I am always listening to a podcast of someone who specializes in something that I want to get better in. I am always investing. Like, I keep track of all the things that I invest in for the year. You guys wouldn't believe how much money I spend in continued learning. It's honestly probably to some people sickening, but to me, it's like I look at that and I'm like, damn, I'm really proud of that, because I'm not only investing, but like I show up in these spaces. And that's something that I've had to train myself into doing, is like I consume the trainings, I show up, I make connections, I make friends. I truly have like put that at the forefront of a business task. And also, like, side note, it's a write-off. So it's like if my CPA at the end of last year was like, you need to invest more into your business. Like, you need to spend more money because you didn't invest enough in your business, which I was like, that's crazy, because last year I spent so much. But I'm like, okay, say less. Like, I will invest more this year. Me too. And sometimes I am sick of it. Yeah, it's okay. I also think that that's why this is not a daily vital, though, is because we can get into the habit of just being a learner. And then that's why this is number 6. Like, that's why these things go in order, because it's like, I'm not putting my continued learning before I take action in my own business. I'm not showing up and listening to other people's trainings before I've made moves in my own day, in my own productivity. So, but the more that I evolve, and sometimes trainings look like I'll buy like a breathwork training, and that has nothing to do, like, I don't teach breathwork, or like I will study, I don't know, yoga or like some sort of energetic thing. And although that has nothing to do with what I coach on, it can translate. So to me, I'm like, I'm taking this time to study something. I'm taking this time to further my learning, and it's going to make me better as a coach. It's going to make me better as a businesswoman. It's going to make me better as this ambitious girl who's just going after everything that she wants. So you got to ask yourself, like, what am I focused on learning right now? And maybe you even make a list of like, I've already purchased this training, this training, this training, and this training. And maybe you like create a spreadsheet where you set a goal of like, I'm going to finish this training by X date. Because that's another thing, is don't just buy trainings and join spaces and not capitalize on what's inside. So that's another thing that I do, is like, I don't buy a new training until I have consumed the prior training. That has been a goal of mine. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the point. I miss sometimes. I just feel like there's too much knowledge and not enough doing. For sure. For sure. I think that is just who we are. Like, that's who we are as women, is like, we want to know more. We want to like enhance our knowledge so much, and we want to like go to new heights, but we get like, it's like we get tricked into, well, if I'm learning, then I should be progressing. And then you somehow like subconsciously miss out on doing all the do. Like, you miss out on taking all the fearless action. So I think these daily vitals will help you a lot. You should definitely like write them down and stick to them and see what happens in a month. Like, if you were to do this every single day, like, create your own little challenge. And that's another thing, you guys, like, romanticize this, name it something, and create a calendar and check it off every single time that you go through this and you complete a full day of these vitals. So let me just close this with a recap. And again, this entire training is also in more depth inside of the takeover, which is my 6-month mastermind. The doors are open to this mastermind right now. You can DM me and we can have a conversation about your goals, like your vision, and decide together if this is the next best move for you. But it's things like this that we're doing inside of the takeover, plus so much more in real time, that to me, the takeover is like the best place to be on the internet. Anyway, even if you just do these things, I'm going to recap all 5 of the vitals. Even if you just did these things, your business will move. So number 1 was protecting your peace, and you cannot overlook that. You cannot overlook number 1. So protect your peace is number 1. Number 2 is your content and your positioning. So you're thinking about what am I putting on my feed today? What stories am I telling? How am I positioning my content to reflect back into my offer that I have, like front facing? Number 3 is you are selling to serve. You are inviting into something. And if you don't have something that you're inviting into, like what offer do you fall back on? And maybe that's a lead magnet right now, and that's totally okay. But do not miss out on the days where you can sell this. I want you to leave this live right now and go sell in your stories. Number 4 is showing up for your clients and your community. And you're showing up, not just checking a box like, okay, I did it, I responded to people, but go above and beyond and take care of people. Like maybe you drop a brand new training inside of a program that they weren't expecting was going to come. So you do that where you kind of like, you want to blow the minds of people who have paid you, whether they've paid you $11 or whether they've paid you $11,000. It doesn't matter. You want to show up for your people, and you want to like stir up the magic, where you can stir up the magic. Number 5 is that exposure. Like where are you taking your branding? Where are you taking your positioning and pushing it beyond just feed content? And then the last one, which is number 6, which again is optional for every single day, but you do want to make sure, like maybe you set a goal of like 3 to 4 times a week. You're spending, let's say, 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week is what, 2 hours of this that you would continue your learning, where you would learn from other leaders. Maybe you have purchased a training and you haven't it's just like sitting in your inbox somewhere, like rip it back out and study it. And yeah. So that is basically the daily vitals. You can watch this as many times as you want. This is honestly the moment that I installed the daily vitals into my business. Like I still always have a running to-do list, but I have blocked out time in my calendar for my vitals, and it's literally by vital. So like I even have in the morning, it's called Wealthy AF. And that is the morning time for me where I protect my peace. Like that is where I show up and I'm doing like all the things to feel good from the inside out. I'll have it blocked off like content creation. This is my time to create content. And so while I have all of these things blocked off, I know in my day, like these are the things that are prioritized at the beginning of my day. I'm going to get through them. I'm going to show up with energy. I'm going to show up with intention. I'm going to knock these things out. And if I don't get to the rest of my to-do list, that's okay. Like I will eventually get there. I will get to those things. But if I have done all 5 of the daily vitals, I know for a fact that my business is going to move forward, that I'm going to feel very productive, that I'm going to like move the needle. All right. So with that being said, if you are interested in joining the Takeover Mastermind, it's a 6-month contract that you would be included on Team Takeover. And you would join this space with us where our true goal is for you to take over the world. Like that is the goal. You are building your personal brand. Yes, we are talking about business strategy, all the things, but you're coming into this space with a goal of taking over, like becoming the one, however you want to label that. If you're interested in that, send me a DM and let's just have a conversation. Sammy, eek, sounds freaking amazing. Yes, it is freaking amazing. And we're waiting on you to fill a seat, by the way. But nonetheless, you'll come into my DMs. Let's have a conversation. Let's go back and forth on whether or not this is the right move for you. And I will be asking you questions. This is again, like you, will have a conversation with me, but there's still an application that you'll fill out. And the reason for the application is not because I'm deciding whether or not you're the right fit. It's me deciding whether or not that is the right move for you. And I think not a lot of people explain their application process that way. Like I'm not looking at this as like a pass fail. I'm looking at your application and I'm dissecting what's inside of it so that I can make sure that this is the right move for you. And I've turned a lot of people away from the takeover because it's not a cheap investment. Also, it's way less expensive than most masterminds. Like let's just put that out there. But it's not a cheap investment, and I don't take that lightly. Like I don't want you spending money on this mastermind and joining this space if I feel like this isn't the right move for you. And there's other options as well. If I'm like, well, I don't think you really need this yet, then I will send you other options where we can make sure that you're still getting what you need, but maybe you're just not yet ready for the investment of the takeover. And that's okay. Okay. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing Monday. And yeah, let me know how the daily vitals go. And it's 11:11. We're going to end it right here. Mwah.